All right, so we got some IDW news that really sparked my interest, really tickled my pickle, so to speak. I fucking hate that. I'll probably never say that again, but knowing me, I still might. So, we're going to be talking about the announcement of a new comic from IDW from a known IP that is finally being dusted off and ready to come back, and that is a new Event Horizon comic. Now, IDW did say earlier last year during Comic-Con that they would be doing a horror line that would involve a lot of comics, some of titles that would be comics directly tied with Paramount properties, some of which like I said, Event Horizon, then you have Twilight Zone, then you have Quiet Place, and I'm trying to remember, there was one more. I said Twilight Zone. But those are the big three for IDW. They wanted to do a new, like, horror line for IDW. And again, like, they kind of need a lot of, properties because, like, the only thing really propping them up right now is, again, Godzilla and Ninja Turtles with Star Trek bringing up the rear. And that's really it. And yeah, I do find it funny that, like, after losing technically, two big Paramount properties, then they go and, look for more Paramount properties and one Toho property. I don't know what what IDW has with Hasbro and, by and large, Paramount. I don't know what kind of working relationship they have, but sure. So let's talk a bit about this comic. Like, let's talk about this new Event Horizon comic and kind of talk about, like, what could we expect from these, not just this comic, but this whole line of horror comics from almost a Paramount, IDW. Now, this comic will be called Event Horizon Dark Descent and will act as a prequel to the original storyline. The big thing that I'm really curious about is, like, how are you going to make this comic without being originally tied to what it was supposed to be? Which I think it wouldn't be too hard, but I find it funny because originally, and even the writers confirmed this, and even Paul W.S. Anderson, the director of Event Horizon, said this. It was originally supposed to be like a Warhammer movie. It was supposed to be set in the early days of the Warhammer 40K universe. Basically, they wrote it as it was during the Dark Age, called the Dark Age of Humanity, and it was like the idea behind it was what they found was the warp and brought it back. That's pretty cool. Here's the thing though, they won't call it the warp. It won't be the warp. It'll probably be its own thing. They'll just call it Hell, like they did before. They'll just call it Hell, and that'll be it, which is fine enough. I just find it funny that this was meant to, like I said ages ago, is that, this was essentially meant to be this was basically meant to be a Warhammer movie without calling it Warhammer. I know also some people do consider this like an unofficial Hellraiser movie too, which I can believe, which also I can accept. But like I said, the writers, even the director himself, was like, nah, it's a Warhammer. It's supposed to be set in the Warhammer 40K universe, and I'm like, okay. So we'll just call it Hell, and that'll be it. But this is supposed to talk about, in this story, like I said, this is going to talk about what happened to the Event Horizon and how it got there in the first place. Like, this is just, like I said, one big prequel to the story as a whole. It's going to be cool to see, like seeing Hell itself after the ship had disappeared, because now we get to see like what this variation of Hell looks like. Like, we only got technically speaking, we really only got like a small taste of what was in there to begin with. Like, we only got just a snippet of what this version of Hell looked like. So this way, we'll probably, when the Event Horizon goes into Hell, we'll probably see what else is in there. So I'm curious to see how that will play out. As for how do we do? Because we know the ending. That's the thing. Like, we already know how this ending is going to play out. So That's the problem with prequels. There are some prequels I like, but the thing is, you already know the story, so you have to make the journey not only like feasible but also entertaining. Like, as much as I don't hate the Thing 2011 prequel as much as other people do. I wish they went with practical effects and not garbage CGI, but I think it was a pretty cool idea, and it was also like a nice fan service to. I thought it had some pretty solid, service to the original '81 movie. It was made by people who understood their shit, even though I feel like the cast, again, some of the cast was pretty bad, and I think that, again, CGI was just not the place to go. That was really it. So I'm really excited for how this will play out. This story will play out. I'm definitely going to read this in trade. And one thing I give IDW over Dynamite is that apparently IDW, even though they're slow on trades, they still fucking release them. So I gotta hand it. I gotta give credit where credit is due in this occasion. Now, as for the other horror titles, like I said, they're also doing like 30 Days of Night, not a Paramount property, that's an original property, and another original property, a sequel to Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Now, this comic is Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. I haven't read that book, but I heard it was nothing short of just a horror show. It was basically like the Barons. The best way to describe this comic, and I did get it from my girlfriend. It's like the Berenstein Bears meets meets Dexter. That's the best way I could describe it. I'll give you a brief synopsis of the book. Basically, this comic is about a bear. It's a world of anthropomorphic animals, and one of them, this carpenter, she's this female bear. And she goes into the city and kills someone once a month, but now there's another serial killer that might blow her cover. It's actually really cool, it's really trippy, and I kind of want to read the book on a whole. So, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, even the title just gives you the will, just makes you feel unease. The comic I'm most excited for out of all of these properties, I think, out of all of them, is, Quiet Place. I do believe that it will more than likely, the Quiet Place comics will, or depending on miniseries, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if they're going to be ongoings or minis, that's the other thing. But I do feel like they're going to do art over story, so I really hope they get a damn good artist. Speaking of artists, cycling back to Event Horizon Dark Descent, that book's artist will be Christian Ward, who I really dug Ward's artwork in Batman. What was that Batman title? It was like a Lovecraft Batman. It was really cool. I really enjoyed it. He wrote and drew that book, so he's really good at doing almost like Lovecraftian nightmares. So I think he was a solid pick for this book. So I can't wait to see what kind of demonic Lovecraftian horrors that guy can come up with. Batman I think it was called Batman the Underworld, I think, or something like that. But yeah, he's Christian Ward was the right guy for this Event Horizon book. Anyway, getting back on topic, I think you need a damn good artist for this Quiet Place book. I'm also curious to see because it's obviously going to be an anthology book, of how you're going to do Twilight Zone. I wonder what kind of writing rotation is going to be for the Twilight Zone, because again, with most anthology books, they are usually more often than not getting a writer to do those books. So I imagine it'll be a lot of regular or breaking into the industry writers, like a lot of the Godzilla rival books were. Who knows? Maybe we could get some crossovers out of this. I would kind of like to see 30 Days of 30 Days of Night Quiet Place. It'd be kind of neat. Or maybe what would be a good one in the at least an Event Horizons one. I mean, Marvel's now open to crossover, so maybe Silver Surfer Event Horizon. That'd actually be really cool. Silver Surfer finds the ship, finds Event Horizon, and he goes into it and just encounters all these horrors. That'd be kind of neat, actually. I would totally dig that. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of this announcement for not just Event Horizon, but more of these IDW horror comics on a whole? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.